Hi, and welcome to the Senior Network. I'm your host, Greg Fulton. Today, I am joined by Tamara Watson, registered nurse, hospice care of the Lowcountry. Glad to have you, Tamara.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a good friend of mine I haven't seen in a long time, Melissa Hallback with the Bayshore here on Hilton Head.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
You are the community relations counselor, correct?
Correct, yes. Good to be here. Thank
Great.
you.
And thanks for having us here. We're here at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry in Bluffton today.
Thank you.
Well, we're excited. You're the new kid on the block, this wonderful facility, Bayshore. Tell me a little bit about it.
Happy to. It is quite the experience. Bayshore is 126 apartments.
Okay.
It is an upscale boutique retirement community. And you're correct, it is essentially one of a kind, and we cannot be more thrilled to have people come in and visit. And how is it different, really? The 126 apartments are all licensed as assisted living. So what that means essentially, and how is it different than other places, that we have now that are wonderful as well, is you can move in at an independent level, and then if you need the assisted level care, or if your spouse does, you move in and the care actually comes to you. And people say to us all the time, well, how is that different? Well, we actually have our nursing staff in place in the community. They're not just on call. They are there 24/7. So the care can come to that apartment. So what does that mean, too? You can stay in any apartment that you move into initially, on any floor.
So you never have to move out.
You never have to move out, and you never have to move to a different apartment.
Sure.
So if you're on the 5th floor, and you need some care, say down the line, traditionally you might need to move to a different section of the community, and you don't have to do that there. So that is
How many floors are there?
There's 5
There's
floors.
5, okay.
There's 5 floors. Yep.
Great.
So.
And Tamara, I know that you work in the Bayshore all the time, right?
It's a really cool place because you don't have the feel of a traditional assisted living at all. It seems like more of an independent, or even like a hotel-like kind of
a resort almost when you walk in.
So it's really lovely there, and we do have some patients over there. So we work really well with the Bayshore, with their staff, and also with your agency, Greg, with Right at Home, because sometimes
We're
we
all
need
there,
to
aren't
get
we?
caregivers in place to keep them there if they need additional care that we can't provide, or it's over and beyond what you guys can do.
Correct.
So it's really working together, and yeah, it's a fabulous. What I like about it too is that it's integrated. You have, I think, independent with the AL. It's not like a separate unit. So it normalizes everything as much as possible.
And restaurant-style dining, so everyone comes, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So again, we do not separate. So it's just, it really makes it a nice feel. And like you had mentioned, people just love to visit there. It truly is an experience, and you don't feel like you're walking into, a healthcare, and nothing wrong with that. But people want to feel comfortable. They want it to feel like
too, right?
Correct. We are, and we do draw independent residents that just want that maintenance-free lifestyle. And so they're coming to live there because they don't want to do maybe the yard work or the housework, or they might have a spouse that needs some care and they want to be together.
Yes.
Again, you don't want someone that's living in one place and then maybe you're living in assisted living. So it's been great. It's been really truly an experience. The other big difference that I can say right now for the Bayshore too, and because you're in there all the time, is when you walk into the apartments, it is full style, kitchen. It's not your maybe, the back in the day where you had a dorm or something like that where it's smaller. It is full size. And that makes it unique. And the other thing that when they did receive the license to do this, the owners and the management company, which is Life Care Services, we have washers and dryers in the apartments, so no losing socks and things like that. So yeah, so it's just, definitely people need to come and see it, because when you're explaining it, like in this setting or on the telephone, you truly can't feel it till you walk in. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. It has that resort feel for sure.
Now, give us an idea of like payer sources. How do people pay for that? Is there out of pocket?
It typically is out of pocket. It is a rental. We are not a buy-in community, so that's another unique, which people tend to like that flexibility that you have versus, a big buy-in or something. if you're looking for that. And then typically private, but what I wanted to share today, a message which a lot of people don't really know about when you're looking, and I try to remember to say that when I'm meeting with a family or a person interested, is that oftentimes long-term care insurance can pay a portion if someone is assisted living. They do have to meet certain criteria, which you would have to check with your own policy. But it is, and it's not just the care, it can pay towards the rent too. So a couple that might be there, one might be assisted living, it can pay for a good portion of that. So people often don't know that. VA benefits, again, if you do qualify, which the person would have to find out, if they do, can cover as well. So there are some different payer sources besides
That's
private.
great, yeah.
Yep.
And as far as like the move-in process, tell us a little bit about that.
It's fairly easy. We do invite people to come out. Certainly you can drop in, and a lot of people do. They just, come on in. But if you want a little bit more personalized time, just give us a call at our main number, and they'll usually put the person in touch with me, oftentimes Stephanie Johnson, which is our executive director, and we'll sit down and spend some time. After that piece of it, it's just if someone is interested, it's picking out your apartment. You do meet with our wellness director, which is Mabel Klein, also director of nursing, and she'll meet with the person or persons, and then it's just a matter of then signing the contract and going forward. And when I say that is month to month, but you do sign a year's contract for that rate, and then that's pretty much it.
Great, exciting stuff, really.
Is there a waiting list?
There's a waiting list right now for 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Okay. We do have availability for our 1-bedrooms right now. Gotcha. And we also have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath den, and that's on a wait list too. So, yep.
Great. Well, hold that thought. We need to take a break.
Okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back on the Senior Network. Hi, and welcome back here on the Senior Network. We have Tamara Watson with Hospice Care of the Lowcountry and Melissa Hallback with the Bayshore community. And made me think, how do you guys, tell me a little bit about the referral process, because I know you folks work a lot together, right? Tamara, how would that happen?
Yes, we actually have a couple people over there right now,
Right.
and usually the wellness nurse will give us a heads up, or their physician of the patient. The physician will give us a referral over the phone, and then we'll send out our nurse. We have a team that works with our patients, so you'll be seeing our chaplain over there, our volunteers, pet therapy goes over, our aides also to help. We just kind of help support what the services they're already getting provided from you all, but we also, in conjunction, will provide our own services. So we have a lot of volunteers, and we'll just go visit our patients over there. What I love is it's a very relaxed, it's not like an intimidating atmosphere, so it's very welcoming, and our volunteers love to go over there and spend time with our residents, your residents over there for sure. Yeah, it's.
Did I hear pets? Are you allowed to have pets?
Yes,
there?
I was going to say, we can talk about pets. I
Yeah.
can talk about pets all
Okay.
day long. So I have
yes, you can.
Yes,
She can.
Yeah. So we are pet friendly. We do allow small dogs, 25 pounds and under, and then
okay.
kitty cats. We do have one therapy dog as well that lives there that's over the 25 pounds.
Okay.
And we do certainly welcome any pet visitors as long as, they're current on their vaccinations and so forth. So we love that. And I think it does. I mean, I can't tell you how many calls I have too that people, that's their family. And I've had some people, the first question, okay, before we go further, do you allow pets? So that's something that we do. I mean, certainly we want people to be able to take care of them or have someone that can do that for them. I mean, we have a dog walker that comes in there that is hired by the family member, but that assists with that too for people. So
Do they have like a little playground or something outside?
we have
or?
a pretty good property, and at one point we did consider, doing
Yeah.
a dog area there.
You're on the water too, right?
We're on the water,
yeah.
so yeah, and that sets us apart too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, prime property, and it's gorgeous. A lot of people in the area are familiar with the Boathouse restaurant, and sits in the back of Hilton at Plantation. So yeah, I mean, it's just gorgeous. I mean, and that's another reason, like you described, for people that you have coming in, visitors, or even seeing residents there. There's so many spots and locations. You're not just in a building. I mean, there's so many outdoor areas, and you know, because you've been in there, there's a lot of different libraries and areas that you can spend time in, which I think is therapeutic too.
Yeah, definitely.
And don't you have some kind of service with the boats, like a boat ride in the evening?
We actually have our own boat. So yeah,
Oh,
we do
wow.
have a boat dock. Thank you for bringing that up. So it is 14 boat slips now, but we do. We have a captain that, particularly when the weather's nice, it will start up again, and it's very popular. I mean, we do take people out morning, sunset cruises, so that's huge. And even family members, if they have a boat that can go in those waters there, they can pull up now. Because it used to be where they went to Defusky Island, so that was that original dock there.
Do you do dining on that boat? Or it's just
No, not so
cocktails,
much cocktails or
Cocktails,
appetizer,
cruise, yeah.
things
Okay.
like that, which we want to do for all of you soon too. So that
Well, we
would
would
be
love
nice.
to. Yes, we would love
We
to.
can do, you can usually, I think it's 8 or 11 people.
Right.
So yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow.
That brings up a good point, dining. Tell us a little bit about what you
So
guys-
dining is there. It's on our first level
Okay.
there. It is restaurant style. We have, of course, our own food and beverage staff, and it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you come in as independent level, 2 meals are included with your base rent, and then assisted living is 3 meals. But there again, some people choose still, they have their apartments, which and you can fix something there. We do a kind of a continental breakfast in the morning from 7 to 10. So if you're not a big breakfast eater, you can come down, have coffee, have a Danish, things like that. And then people go out. I mean, they still have their own lives. So you can have your car there if you still drive, and go to restaurants. I mean, there's some popular restaurants close by. So yeah, people are coming and going.
Yeah, and what's nice too, I think it accommodates like the lifestyle of your couples. Like for the one person that might be a little bit more independent, they can go out, and you still have the assisted living, the help for the other spouse that maybe can't get out, and maybe with meals in the room also helps accommodate their lifestyle. I like it speaks to both where they're at in the spectrum of their journey.
And some people too. I mean, we encourage people obviously to use the service and so forth, and we want to see people. But there again, we also, if you want to go out and do, have lifestyle, we have people that live there that volunteer, someone that still works. So it's just different.
It sounds very different, very, very unique. As far as the social side of it, are there groups like, I know my mother plays Mahjong and all those things. Do they have kind of things like that?
And you can kind of talk to that. You see it. Yes, we do a calendar events.
Yeah.
We have a life enrichment director that's there, and also an assistant. So from, in the morning till the evening, there is organized activities on site as well as off site. And we're even trying to grow that as we grow, have more, dinners or lunches, or even some trips maybe to Savannah or Beaufort, things like that, now that we can do that. So we do, and there again, it's a balance, like you said, because we do have independent and we have assisted, but we do things together. And we also encourage people, I mean, everyone has a different personality. Some are super social, some are more introverted, but you do feel comfortable there. You don't feel pressure like you have to, do everything if you just want to go sit outside or go to your apartment or spend time with your friends. So it's
We
nice.
have our volunteers for our patients over there will assist our patient
Yeah,
down
we
for maybe an
appreciate
activity
that,
that
yeah.
cannot participate on their own perhaps, and maybe their spouse is going out to go do whatever. So it's a great community for socialization because of that too. And I know, don't you have like a cocktail hour there too?
We
Is
do.
it the 5th floor?
We
have
have
a
a
bar?
sky bar.
Sky bar.
Did I
I
forget
heard
to
about your
talk
sky
about
bar.
that?
Oh, wow.
Sky bar on the 5th floor.
Yeah, they
love
opened
it.
the
Come
fifth
see
floor.
that. I
Come on
know.
out.
I know. I'm not telling that part. That will be a next
So
segment.
at 55, could I move in there?
Oh, well,
Mel-
it's actually age of 62. So,
Oh, that's not
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
unbelievably nice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Exciting stuff. Well, I
Thank
really
you.
thank you guys. We're out of time, unfortunately. I appreciate everything. Thank you for joining us here on the Senior Network. We need to take a break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hi Hi, and welcome back here on the Senior Network. We're now joined by Neil Honeycutt, Director of Community Relations right at home.
Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, partner.
Yep.
And Tamara, before Neil came on, we were talking about referral back and forth with communities and so forth. Tell us a little bit about how you guys work
Sure,
together.
because we work closely together too for, say, residents in assisted living level of care, say. When it gets a little bit over and beyond what the facility can do, we call in, we'll call in some extra hands like what you guys provide for maybe for helping a person with meals or their ADLs for the day. Using hospice and assist, your caregivers help support someone to be able to continue to live in a level of care like the Bayshore.
Sure. And Neil, I know with Right at Home, obviously, one of our main focuses is to keep them in their home as long as possible.
It is, Greg. So the way we approach it is we walk into the homes, provide an assessment for the family. It may be an adult child who calls us initially, realizes that mom and dad are just not doing very well in the home. And sometimes it starts out with something what we think it's minor, but it may not be, is a medication issue. They're not taking their medications properly due to memory or it could be a number of other reasons. Maybe sometimes it's non-compliance. But they realize there's something going on. And so we step in and try to at least initiate a basic level of care, going in, maybe having a nurse set up medication, doing medication administration. Tamara said also sometimes it's activities of daily living, and what that basically means is all the physical care that someone needs some assistance with. And we monitor that. We put a plan in place where they can stay in the home as long as they possibly can. And then we also start talking to them about alternatives. If they're going to need more care than what maybe they can afford to be in the home setting, we do offer some information about the assisted livings in like Bayshore and other places that are here, so that it's economical too. At some point, if they're able to do the care in the home, receive that care, it can be costly sometimes. So if they can look at maybe a monthly fee over at Bayshore or one of the other assisted livings, we obviously refer to that as well.
Well, and for folks that don't know, I mean, you're a licensed master social worker, and
That's
so
right.
that skill set really helps with. There's just a lot of dynamics of helping people transition and make those decisions like you're talking about for staying at home or moving into a facility or independent assisted like Bayshore we were talking
And
about.
what's great too, because a lot of the families down here, their loved ones are out of town. So
Yes,
it's
exactly.
really nice when you get called in to help them on a little bit more intimate level too, to help them understand what's going on. Because I know it's very stressful for a lot of the families out of town, because we have a lot of retirees down here.
It's very difficult. I think one of the things that we do, and you guys do it very well, is just getting that family together who may live in California, someone may live in New York, and they really don't know what's going on. What I call right on in the home on the spot. So maybe mom and dad tell them one thing, and then we go in and find something totally different. And so we try to bring them together. We try to be eyes on the ground for them, and then pretty much bring everything together and determine what are the resources that are really needed for them. Because sometimes being in the home is just not what they need to have. But most of the time, we can keep them there as long as possible.
You do a fabulous job with that. I know there's been many a times where I'll be calling Neil on the phone saying, "Hey, I got a family that needs you," and unfortunately, it's a process because they're not always ready to have all the hours they really need. But you do a wonderful job of getting them on that page. And just sometimes, like you said, just getting in the door, talking with them, and assessing and starting to provide some services takes a big relief because most people need more than what they get sometimes.
And what they think they need.
Oh, yes, exactly.
They do. Well, I was sitting here looking at your title, Clinical Director.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
Oh,
What's your role?
so I take all the referrals mostly, and I
Okay.
help with patient care, making sure, just making sure that everybody's being seen, coordination of schedules. It's a melting pot for everything, really. But mostly my favorite part is working with the families. When I get the referral in, and we do a really fast turnaround time on it. And then getting other disciplines, calling other agencies, who do we need to get in here to help this family get them support that they need? Yeah.
From a hospice standpoint, tell us just a little bit about that process. So you would contact, maybe have a nurse go out at that point?
Usually if I get a referral from a physician's office, say, and I'm getting all the medical records in, I'll send the nurse out within 24 hours for sure. It could be a couple hours. And they're out meeting them, making that contact right away. And then getting in the home and opening up the case. We provide, social work, chaplain, aid services. So we try to assess and see what this patient needs and provide as much services as possible. And everything over and beyond what we can do, we call you.
Well, you both do a fabulous job, and unfortunately we're out of time.
Okay.
But I really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it. Please take a moment, if you will, email us any comments, questions you may have, and thank you all for joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. We'll see you the next time.